Twitter.com did an article about the upcoming Marvel movies, about what's next in the phase. Is that what they're talking about? Adam does good articles with this type
He does
of thing.
great articles. Excuse me. It's all the upcoming movies for what we're going to get in Phase 4 because, it's all been kind of a lot of announcements at Comic-Con, and then we finally got confirmation of Black Panther 2.
Right. And Black Widow.
And Black Widow, obviously, is the next in line. So, that's the first movie out of the gate, actually, is Black Widow, May 1st, 2020.
May 1st, 2020, so that's less than a year away.
Less than a year.
I'm nervous about this movie.
Black Widow? I'm not anymore after seeing it.
So I'm less nervous because of what you saw and how you're talking about it, but I don't know.
It's going to crush.
She's just not my favorite character.
She has a gun.
You know what's good though is that the supporting cast that they have with her.
Strong.
Yeah, you're gonna like.
I think she's a very talented actress.
Yeah.
It's just I don't think the MCU has done the greatest job with making me care as much about her character.
I cared more about her in this trailer than I've cared about her in the last 4 movies.
Cool.
I think they're gonna give her, and I really like the fact that it's taking place after Civil War. I think it's a good gap in time and makes sense for what they want to do. So this is the first one. Great cast: Scarlett Johansson, Rachel Weisz, Florence Pugh, who is easily my favorite out of this new cast.
Which one's she?
She's played Paige in Fighting with My Family.
Oh yeah, she's
Who
great.
is
She's great.
OT?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Florence. So
OT Fagbenel?
Fabenel?
Fagbenny?
Fagbenel?
Fagbenel.
Fudgebenin.
Oh, he's Handmaid's Tale. He's so good.
Okay, take it easy.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's really good.
What's he in?
Handmaid's Tale.
I need to know how to pronounce his last name. Because if it's Italian, then it'd be like Fabenle.
Fudgebein.
Yeah, and also like you just can't pause too
Fagbenle.
long before saying the
Fagbenle.
first and the last.
Fagbenle.
You sort of
The G is silent.
Yeah, I botched that.
A little bit, but
I
so
think
did
so.
I. I tried to
Yeah,
back
pretty-
it
I
up.
didn't even attempt it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I botched it.
What's his last name? Fabinley?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Okay.
Be careful. Yeah, so
Don't
you
worry.
think
I already stuck my foot in my mouth yesterday.
That's
I'll
right,
work on
yeah.
it today.
That's so.
We're on air a lot. It's hard not to.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Oh, believe me, I know. Go back to go back.
We all know.
What do you think OT stands
No,
for?
not to this, guys. I'm sorry. Go to the
Original
cast.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Do it. Oh, I'm sorry.
What are
All
you
right.
going to go to, Christian?
No, so this movie comes out in May, where because these guys have not seen the trailer yet. I understand being a little. Well, what is it? What's going to happen? I think that most people will be pretty excited once they see this.
How long was the trailer that they showed you?
It was like an extended cut. I think it was probably like 3 minutes.
Okay.
When do you think we'll see that?
You got to see it soon.
Probably towards the end of the year.
I don't think we have to see it that soon. It's in May.
You probably see the trailer before
I think we get
episode
it.
9.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
We have The Eternals next, and that's going to be November 6th, 2020, directed by Chloe
So
Zhao.
No,
Zhao.
Zhao. She's from Mustang.
I thought she did the Rider.
Rider. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I knew it was a horse movie.
Yeah, did the Rider,
which is great.
is very interesting to me. This is I loved her work in that, but this is a significant jump from the Rider, which probably cost $37 to make.
Yeah.
This and I'm not saying that I love that movie. You know I love the movie, but it's not an expensive movie,
Right.
You know?
No.
So this is a big jump. Mm-hmm. And I want to.
Comic book movies do this a lot.
They do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works great. Sometimes the directors get bullied. And I always think of Gavin Hood from Satsi, which is an amazing film. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. Then wound up doing Wolverine Origins and the horror stories of what he went through.
I've never even heard of that movie, Satsi.
It's great.
What's it about?
It was go bring up TSOTSI. I saw it when I was at yeah, there it is. So a South African hoodlum named Satsi lives by a code of violence, and he and his gang of thugs prowl the streets of Johannesburg day and night, attacking those who fail to give them what they want. After casually shooting a woman and stealing her car, he discovers her baby in the back seat. Instead of harming the infant, he takes it home and cares for it. The child acts as a catalyst for the hardened thug to regain his humanity.
Wow.
It's really good. It's funny because I haven't seen it.
It's funny?
No. I'm saying it's funny because I don't remember a lot of the movie, but when
the situation.
I read the synopsis, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember all of it because I remember really loving that movie and saying I saw it before a lot of people did. I was like, this guy's great, and I remember being excited when he got Wolverine Origins, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell happened?
Right.
Rendition.
He's in Ender's Game. I didn't mind Ender's Game. I didn't mind Ender's Game.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, actually.
Anyway, so Eternals. Then we'll see what Chloe's outdoes. Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Kamal Nanjiani, Lauren Ridloff, Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek, Leah McHugh, Don Lee, Kit Harington, Barry Keoghan, and Angelina Jolie.
Who is Lauren Ridloff?
We're going to find out in a second here. Lauren Ridloff, I'm not sure.
She looks familiar.
She was in The Walking Dead. She was in The Walking
Former
Dead.
Miss Deaf America?
Oh.
Some guess.
Oh, that's right.
She's deaf.
Oh, okay.
She is. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, otherwise she wouldn't know.
Oh, she was part of that duo. Remember when they came in with the guy from the ping pong movie, the chubby actor that everybody confuses with Josh Gad, sort of like back in the day. Yeah. Now he's come on, you know what I'm talking about. There was 3 of them, and she was in love with the one girl. And
they came into what?
Into Walking Dead. And then she was signing with the other girl. Remember, they were part of like that thing.
Oh,
And I don't know if she's still alive.
That's exactly
Fantastic Beasts.
Okay.
Wow.
Dan Fogler?
Dan Fogler.
Dan Fogler was in Walking Dead?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah. End of last season. I think
nice.
he's dead. I can't remember. I lose so many characters in that show. I think he's dead, but he was like a violinist. Then they broke his violin. And he felt real bad about his violin.
I went through so many different things with Dan Fogler. Like Dan Fogler was when we first started Schmoes, I was just not a big fan of a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started watching some other things, dug it. Really liked him in the first Fantastic Beasts. But then I sat. My first one-on-one with Christian Harloff that I did was with Dan Fogler.
Really?
Yeah, and I had done an interview with him, Colin Farrell, and a few other people at Comic-Con a couple of years. Really hit it off with him. I wound up doing his podcast, and he's I like Dan Fogler a lot. He's a good guy. He's from New York, and I'm excited that he did Walking Dead.
He was great in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I liked his
Yeah,
arc.
he was good.
Yeah.
It says 2018 to present, so.
Oh, so he's still on it. Okay,
Maybe.
cool.
All right. So anyway, so the Eternals come out. I don't know what to think about this movie yet. I think that
If it's all
you're
space
out.
related,
You're
I'm
not
out.
gonna like it. I'm more. I like that.
Well, so that. It's more the ancient beings that have been here all along, and they're going to show
I'll
themselves.
take ancient beings over space.
They might go to space.
Yeah, I like
don't
space.
know.
At least ancient
I do
beings
too.
happened.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm all right with the space part of it. I want to see though, because with Guardians of the Galaxy, they took a property that nobody knew and they made everybody know it, and everybody fell in love with them. And I'm hoping that it happens again because this actually seems more of what I would like more so than Guardians of the Galaxy. I just, for some reason, am not super excited about it just yet. And I like the cast. I really like the cast. Are you pumped about this one, or you're same thing?
I like the cast. Also, I know very little about the property.
Yeah.
I am more excited for this than I am for Black Widow.
Yeah. See, right now I think
Me
it's
too.
I see right now I'm in the opposite. But I wasn't. I think again, if I had not seen, I've seen footage for one. I have not seen footage for the other. I just saw a cast.
And you liked what you saw.
I did. So, all right,
Well, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is next.
Okay.
I want to bring up a conversation kind of on this because
Sure.
I've seen some Twitter reactions that were surprising to me.
about this?
About everything with Phase 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
So a lot of people saying Cap's gone, I'm out. And I went, it's a lot more than I thought. I didn't know if there's less excitement happening with you guys. Black Widow, Eternals, what have you?
I don't know.
Because Endgame was the end for a lot of our characters.
Riley, a lot of people said Trump's president. I'm moving to Canada. Where do they live? In the United States of America.
Sure.
People say things all the time, and they don't follow through with them. I doubt.
Normally I don't listen to this kind of stuff, but they were all very well thought out.
Do you know how hard Captain America in general was to make happen,
right?
And to make people, because when I was working over at Warner Brothers, when Wonder Woman, the script that my buddies Jennison and Strickland had written took place in the 40s, and essentially what had now happened with Patty Jenkins. Joel Silver and all the Warner Brothers people were like, no, you can't do it. You got to do it modern day. You got to do it modern day. Nobody's going to care back then. No, I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Yeah.
To do it modern day. Thank God that never happened. They changed the whole script and wanted to make it modern day, and it just destroyed the whole script. Fast forward years later, they do that with Captain America in the 40s, and it works brilliantly, and they introduce him because people didn't know what to make of Captain America when it came out. The first Captain America didn't do big, huge numbers.
Right.
It was Winter Soldier that did. People then started to, you got to set it up. They've got to start setting up these new properties that people will either respond to and learn about new characters and like new people, or they won't.
Or not.
You got to put. It's like when you would throw in the like late 90s, early 2000s in hip hop, right? Is like there was some established names and they were trying to bring their guys on because they all had labels, and they'd be like so and so featuring so and so.
Right.
So in these movies, you're going to have to put some of our trusted, most likable characters that we already know. Throw them in the Eternals, throw them in Shang-Chi, because without like the tie-in, we are just watching more superhero movies. I hate the name and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Anytime you add
you're talking about this one.
I know, but I'm saying Eternals and all of it. You have to throw in this tie-in because without it, we're just getting introduced to more characters that we don't necessarily care about right now.
I don't mind that
until we see the movie.
I don't mind that because I didn't care about some of the characters in previous phases, and then I really ended up like that.
I think what you're saying is that there were more established brands in the beginning. Yeah, but now Marvel's in a different, lack of a better word, phase than they were back then because you knew about Iron Man just from pop culture, right? And he wasn't the most popular, but you knew obviously about Spider-Man and Captain America and all the big ones. You knew about them already, but they didn't have an established film universe yet. Now they do. Now they have this machine that you trust as movie-going audience that you go, okay, I didn't know what Guardians was, so now I'll go see Eternals, and you hope that the same machine puts out some new characters and new love.
Yeah, because certainly people didn't know who Groot was.
Right.
Or Star-Lord or Rocket.
All that stuff. But he's just saying that there's more of that now.
No, I get it, and I totally understand, but I think all it takes is one movie, and if you like it, you're in.
I just my palate is so destroyed by the Inhumans show that when I hear Eternals, I immediately go there and I see like this poster of like
is it the same
9
guy?
of them just like.
No, but he always messes up the names.
But I always mess up the names, and it was a botch.
Yeah,
it was a botch. And again, Coy Jandro and Amy were pitching me a couple of these other things yesterday from D23 that they saw, and I'm still just like.
Well, so this is where Shang-Chi comes from because that's the next one after Eternals. Marvel is looking to produce its first superhero movie with an Asian lead, and the film is based on on a comics character created in the early 1970s by writer Steve Englehart and artist Jim Starlin, and was born out of Marvel Comics' desire to acquire the rights to the TV series Kung Fu, which they were denied. Instead, they acquired the rights to the villain Fu Manchu and created Shang-Chi as a son of Fu Manchu. In the comics, Shang-Chi was raised and trained by his father in martial arts, but when he learned his father was actually evil, he turned against him. Marvel intends to fill out the ensemble cast with a mostly Asian cast, looking towards Black Panther as a template for how this kind of movie should be put together. Short-term 12 director, that's a great movie, Destin Daniel Cretton won the directing gig over other candidates that include Alan Yang, who was a Master of None, and Deborah Chow, who directed The Mandarin.
Alan Yang, didn't he co-create Master of None with?
Did.
Yeah,
it seems like yes. So this is again, space movies, action assassin movies, and martial arts movies. I'm in.
And this is going to tie into Iron Man 3 because they're going to introduce the real Mandarin.
That's cool.
And so we're going to get some kind of understanding of Trevor and why the fake out happened. And
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, what's next?
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, there you go, Rox. This is May 7th, 2021.
My favorite title, maybe ever.
What's it called?
The Multiverse of Madness.
That's your worst. You hate that.
You might as well light your laptop on fire and throw it in my car.
Josh, I don't know who's more mad about this, me or you.
I like this title. I'm with you.
Oh man, I can't wait to see a bunch
better
of
than Halloween Kills,
wizards
I'll tell you
going in
that.
multiverses.
Well, it's going to tie into WandaVision as well.
There's no madness in the method, I'll tell you guys that.
That's true.
Yeah, we're doing some House of M stuff. Scarlet Witch is
What
going to
is this House of M thing you keep talking about?
Okay, it's a comic book line.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch basically goes crazy, creates uses her powers in a moment of she just loses her mind, and creates an alternate reality where all the Marvel characters end up somewhere that they.
And that's what it's called, House of M?
It's always
It's
a great
called House
start
of
to
M.
something in 2019 when a woman goes crazy, and that's when everything goes awry.
Okay.
It's a good start.
So,
Rye bread.
but they're going to. I think she's going to be suffering from losing vision. Okay. She's going to create that alternate reality in the WandaVision, and then something's going to happen that it's Doctor Strange is going to have to come in and fix things.
Okay.
And so that's why Wanda's going to be in it.
All right.
Oh, it's a Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. House of M. I love House of M.
But they now have Doctor Strange that's going to tie into that somehow. Okay, well, what's Doctor Strange 2?
There's a bunch of M's in the title, Multiverse of Madness.
Well, this is what we know so far. This is what Adam writes. For while 2016's Doctor Strange was no doubt intended to start a new franchise, the follow-up was put back on the back burner so Benedict Cumberbatch's character could take a key role in Infinity War and Endgame. In December of 2018, it was revealed that Derrickson had quietly closed a deal to return and direct the Doctor Strange sequel. And at San Diego Comic-Con 2019, Marvel confirmed that Derrickson and Cumberbatch are returning for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Derrickson describes the sequel as the first scary MCU film and will co-star Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch with events that tie directly into the series WandaVision.
It's the only thing that I care about. Elizabeth Olsen is one of my favorite characters.
I like
Scarlet
her.
Witch is one of my Elizabeth Olsen is one of my favorite actresses. Scarlet Witch is one of my favorite characters. Top 3 in the MCU. So that might help. The only thing I'm scared about is that he will ruin her. Like I just hate the Doctor Strange movie so much that I just it's like now putting my
One of your favorites
it's like
in there?
putting Cookie on top of poop.
Oh.
Now
no.
that
That's extreme.
That's
what's
gross.
going to happen? Does it make the poop smell better,
friend
or
would
does
probably
my
eat it.
cookie now taste
Well,
like shit?
what I will tell you,
Why would
though,
you do that to a cookie?
Yeah,
Robin?
why would you? Why are they doing that to my cookie?
What if it's the opposite? What if it's the opposite? What if she now makes you like the movies even more?
The smell of the cookie could make the shit go away.
Right. See, I
it's a
like.
powerful cookie.
Either way, I'm on board because I like the first Doctor Strange, and I like what he's done so far in this universe. And I think that this is again going into what they have done by making each film feel like a genre movie, whether it's action or crime heist. You're getting something like I said, martial arts, action movies, space film, and
Now we're getting a horror movie.
Now you get a horror film, which would be cool if they actually, because Derrickson knows horror pretty damn well.
Yeah, he does.
And I'd like to see it a little bit more creepy. Make it more of a hard PG-13.
What
I'm
horror
all right with
movies
that.
did he do?
He did. God,
Sidious?
what's the guy?
Yeah,
It's,
Sidious.
no,
No.
He did. Why can't I do Ethan Hawke and
Sinister. that
Thank
was
you.
what
I
was
couldn't
thinking.
pull that out.
Right.
Exorcism of Emily Rose.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is right up his alley.
Two
It's
of my
probably something they want to do.
favorites.
I like the fact that we're getting a scary movie, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Oh, he did Deliver Us from Evil. I love that movie.
you've never seen it once. All right, what's next?
Thor: Love
Thing
and
was on
Thunder.
TV last night when I was.
Did you
scrolling
like
through.
it?
It's
I
fantastic.
saw it. It was really good.
I don't know.
All right, so
did.
November
You
5th,
liar.
2021. This is when Thor comes out. Lots of how many of the movies is that right now? 5? Is this
This
the
will
fifth
be
one?
number 5.
This is the 5th one. Okay.
Are you saying in the phase or of Thor
I don't
movies?
get the
No,
question.
no.
This is
In
the
the
fifth.
phase.
This is the fifth.
Yeah, this is the 5th. Okay, so this is what we know so far about the new Thor movie, 2021, November 5th. This seems to be Thor's landing spot. Always is
Yeah,
in November.
now it's November. Yeah.
This is what we know so far. Marvel signed Thor Ragnarok filmmaker Taika Waititi to return to write and direct Thor 4 in July 2019, but at a Comic-Con a few weeks later, Marvel broke the big news. The film will feature the return of Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, who will become the MCU's first female Thor. She'll co-star opposite Chris Hemsworth as well, Lebowski Thor, I guess, and Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, who was deemed King of Asgard at the end of Avengers Endgame.
Yes. All yes.
Yeah.
I like the
nervous.
font. I like the font
I'll
in the poster. I'm not a huge fan of Natalie Portman.
Why are you nervous?
I love Natalie Portman. I think when you put her in movies like Black Swan and
Yeah.
smaller movies, I don't know if and the one Vox Lux, I don't know if there's anyone better. She's so
Yeah.
good. Not traditionally good in big blockbuster movies. She just
Yeah.
tunes out.
I think this is different because of what she's going to do, because of the character Jane Foster, and if they do the comics, I think
Maybe.
it'd be interesting.
Yeah, and she
They were-
probably wants to work with Taika.
I think
Yeah.
we're finally giving her something to do.
Exactly.
She had.
You gotta.
But
you
that's,
gotta
but I don't like that excuse. You're an actress.
I get it. Do your job, right?
If you're
Show the F up.
walking down to a grocery store in your one scene, make it the best damn grocery store you've ever been. I don't like the excuses like, well, they gave her nothing to do. If they gave her nothing to do, but she still crushed it, that's something.
That's how I felt.
You feel like she crushed it?
I
in
feel
the
like they
Thor
gave her
movies?
literally nothing, and she did the absolute best with the material she was
No.
given.
Her and Hemsworth had no chemistry.
Look at Michelle Williams in Manchester by the Sea.
Right.
She
But
has
why isn't
3
that on
scenes.
him
Right.
at all?
because he was good
But
in
that
it.
they had no chemistry. That's a two-way.
I thought it was if one person's given it and it's just landing poorly, I'd say why is it landing poorly? And again, I'm a Natalie Portman fan. Closer is one of my favorite movies.
Prequels?
No chemistry, even though they were dating. They
Hayden
felt
and,
weird. They were dating for a
really?
little bit.
I loved it.
No
But there's
chemistry.
so much chemistry.
Oh my god! It landed like a
my
like a
God.
fart in an elevator.
Okay.
Those are the
Horrible
worst
things.
scenes
Ever.
They're the-
ever.
oh my god.
And because I remember the whole thing. What was the big?
Wait, what?
The big
You don't
chemistry.
know
in
that?
Attack of the Clones.
I'm obsessed with the two of them.
You mean they talk? He gets up and walks over here.
I
Talk.
deeply
Comes over, sits down.
Truly.
Talk.
love you.
And
It was
then
angsty.
No.
They're so into each other.
God bless you, Roxy,
remember,
for liking
remember
it.
that year they weren't talking about Hayden. Everyone wanted to talk about Hayden and Natalie, but then they said no, that's not working. Oh, look at Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire. That's what everybody was talking about. They weren't talking about because she just wasn't giving them
2002,
anything. And again,
Do you prefer Keira Knightley to Natalie Portman?
overall,
Yeah.
no. Natalie Portman, I from The Professional. When Natalie Portman is on, she's
Her best movie.
fire.
Her best movie is when she is a teen in Beautiful Girls. She's
good in that
Oh,
too.
she's fantastic.
She's really good. I'm telling you, Vox Lux is when I saw her, she's so good in those indie movies. She's so
Vox
good
Lux
in the
was
small.
intense. I
Did
really
you see it?
Yeah, I did. I watched it on a plane.
That
Yeah,
open.
so
Oh, you
good.
watched it on a plane?
Yeah.
That opening scene.
I mean, my God. Yeah.
On a plane, you probably watch it like this.
I know. Yeah, it was intense.
Anyway, so Thor comes out. Curious to how that's going to play. Taika Waititi is what we're really not talking about here, and that's probably the main reason that I think that I'm going to
It'll be okay?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to make it work. So
The trailer for Jojo Rabbit was before Good Boys in the theater, and it ended in Amanda's like, that movie looks extremely offensive, but I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think
wanna
that's
see
the
it
point.
too.
Yeah,
Can't
me
wait.
too.
still haven't seen a trailer for it, and I don't want to because I want to see the movie.
Oh, for Jojo Rabbit? Yeah.
Is that
a
everything
great
that they have
When
slated?
is Jojo Rabbit coming out? October?
Soonish. I think like maybe even November, but I'm not positive on that.
It is October 18th,
That's
2019.
close to-
What's next on the
So
slate, if
then,
anything?
Black Panther 2 was
Black
announced
Panther 2
at
was.
D23.
Yeah, I
May
didn't like-
6th, 2020. 2022.
That's
Ryan Coogler.
that's the only thing they announced. I didn't really love what they did at D23.
Did they bring him out? They brought out
They
Coogler,
brought out
right?
Coogler, and Feige did this thing where he's like, "All right, so what can you tell? You want to tell him who the villain is? Like, nah. You want to tell him, what that scene is there? A big scene? Nah.
You think they planned that, or you think
Yeah,
he was
it was-
really asking?
Have you read the script
they,
yet?
They it was a bit. It was a bit like they were like, "Oh, what are they give something big? But we will give you something." It's going to get released on May 6th, 2010. Yeah, okay, great.
Great. It's gonna be
I love
here
Ryan
in
Coogler.
3 years.
And but that was just okay.
2022.
Yeah.
Goodness.
It's 3 years. So, and there's no way Marvel was not going to make a sequel to that movie that outgrossed Infinity War domestically, and they took their time to ensure that Ryan Coogler would be the one steering Black Panther 2. Few details are known right now, but as of August 2019, Coogler has turned in his treatment, and we can reasonably expect this to be a major film in the post-Endgame plans.
Because of the franchise culture that we're in now, does it bother you guys that between like Aquaman movies or Black Panther movies, sometimes there are 3 to 4 years? Or
That's usually what it used to be.
Yeah, but we've seen Black Panther like a bunch since, and we'll probably see him more.
Right.
In
I'm
it.
just wondering, would you rather it not be that way? Would you rather see for a trilogy every other year and then move on to the next character?
Well, the problem with that,
that's a
what
good question.
what you have to do with that is you got to lock people down to contracts right away, and you got to start shooting, and even maybe a lot like when we can talk about it. I have a lot of questions about it because they clearly knew they were going to do Chapter 2, and they shot stuff for Chapter 2 while they were shooting Chapter 1.
You don't think that some? Well, okay.
Yeah. No. So, but either way, so to lock these people down, it's harder to do because normally, like the prequels, it's every 3 years. The original Star Wars movies every 3 years. Now we're getting Star Wars movies every 2 years. They were trying to pump out
Right.
one a year, and that's hard, man, to knock out movies once a year, every other year.
I prefer it this way. It doesn't
Every 3?
bother me. Or
Yeah.
3, even 4, whatever it takes
4's
to
a
make
little
it
too much
good.
for me.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
4 is too much for me. Like 3 is the top. 3 is the top, especially when you're going through a franchise because there's so much other stuff. I'm like, oh, now I get it because you got to catch up
build.
with it again. You got to rewatch the first one. I mean, it's
It takes a lot of time to make these movies good. If you rush them, then you go down DC route.
well, I mean, DC those. I
Sometimes.
think DC I don't really put in that category anymore. DC's pulled themselves out. I think DC's in a place
Shazam.
right there.
I like
Yeah.
Shazam
Wonder
a lot,
Woman,
actually. Wonder
Aquaman.
Woman
Yeah,
was great. I will not
DC's
put Aquaman in there, but I will put Shazam and I will put Wonder Woman
But
in there.
Aquaman's a massive hit.
Sure.
So whether it's like right now, like with these movies with when they were hit their bumps with Justice League and they hit their bumps with Batman v Superman, even though Batman v Superman made money, critically acclaimed, and then it started
Doesn't
to
matter.
kind of bounce, and everyone and Suicide Squad, everyone's like, oh no, it's a disaster. No one's saying that about them anymore. DC now has their shit together.
Well, Joker having all of the releases at festivals, we'll see how that does.
Yeah.
Then Birds of Prey coming in February. I mean, we've got great things lined up also.
I think so. So I mean, I think DC's in a much different place than it was 3-4
Hell
years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Can't wait for
everything
Man
that
of Steel
is that
2.
everything that they have announced so far?
Just the last one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. They don't know when it's going to be
TBD.
released, but it is going to be a part of Phase 4.
We don't know anything about it yet.
We don't know
Okay.
anything, but we know why
Right.
because of everything with James Gunn. And they also put in Blade here, but I heard Blade was going to be Phase 5. So I don't know why it's listed here because it's TBA on release date, director.
Yeah, I think it's Phase 5
It's in
also.
development. I think
Yeah.
it's going to open
All right,
Phase 5.
Phase 4 is only 5 movies? How many of these phases are getting pretty short?
No. Well, how many
I
out of
think
all
that's
these
pretty
movies?
average for them.
Oh,
Is it?
really?
Out of all these
No.
movies, what do you think? What's your most anticipated out of all the ones that we just went through?
Maybe 7. I guess Thor.
Thor.
Yeah, I want to go Thor, but because I have Ragnarok, I'm going Doctor Strange.
Doctor
Same.
Strange.
Horror. It's a horror in the MCU.
What do you say?
I think the one that interests me the most because I'm so skeptical of it is Eternals. I guess
Eternals?
Just because they're putting so
I'm
much on
excited
it.
for
They put Kit Harington in. They put Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden. I mean, this cast is crazy, and for them to put all of this in there, it's got to have some sort of property that is redeeming to fans. And that's what I gotta watch.
Go back up, guys. Go back up real quick, all the way to Phase 1. So to answer your question, Josh, how many in Phase 1? There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
So there you go. That's on par with this.
Got it.
Then Phase 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So there must be a lot in
And Phase
3.
3.
That's about how
Phase
many we have.
3 was 1, 2, 3,
11.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. So there were 11 in Phase 3.
Well, we're kind of resetting, so maybe we then go
Back to 6.
6,
Maybe 11.
And there were so many in there because we're leading to
6,
Infinity
11.
War.
Yeah. As I think my favorite, I think the one that I'm looking forward to the most right now is Shang-Chi.
I thought you were going to say that.
Nice.
I want to see. I want to see a martial arts.
Yeah.
movie. I want
I
to
thought
see.
you were gonna say that.
I want to see a Marvel martial arts, straight up old school martial arts kick-ass movie.
Yeah.
Like that to
That's
me.
what they're going for.
that-
Well,
The
you
only
saw the Black
reason-
Widow stuff, and they were talking
That was
about
good.
Mission Impossible
Yeah, it
and
feels like
Bourne,
it.
and
It felt
so
like it.
what if we
Yeah.
get like a
Kung
raid
Fu.
kind of feel?
Oh yeah, raid.
you
Type
know?
thing. Yeah.
The
sure.
only reason
Right.
that isn't my number one, going back to what Josh was kind of mentioning before, is just because the cast. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know them as well. So
I just like the idea of a martial arts movie. Straight
sounds
up. Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, I would go see every martial arts movie when they came out.
That's what I thought Doctor Strange was going to be like.
Martial arts movie.
Yes.
Oh, because of the way that they. Yeah.